Paatelainen once starred for Dundee United in Europe. Europe is where Dundee United want to be under Craig Levein. They were both in the shakedown to finish best of the rest in the SPL. Out with the old firm, Dundee United are still very much in the frame for that third place finish. Hibs, who went top of the table back in October, can't even claim a place in the top six now. They're head-to-head here at Tannadice. The live action is only an hour away. Mark de Vries once scored 4 goals for Hibs. That was for Hearts. He's now a Dundee United player. Mixu Paatelainen knows his way around here. He's a youngster from Finland. He signed for United 20 years ago. And he's reactivated the career of Dean Shields, who looked on his way out under John Collins. He's back. And Colin Nish in line for a debut for Hibs today, signed from Kilmarnock. Merawani Zamama is demoted. He will be on the bench today. Yves Makalambi's here.
Easy.
Hey.
Please, big man. Great game, what's it?
Can I get your gloves?
No, I'm playing with them first.
I get them after the game.
Okay, come and see me after the game.
Great game, what's it?
Yeah, you might need those gloves between now and then. What's the connection between the two managers today? Well, they've both had spells in charge of Cowdenbeath before clambering up the managerial ladder. What's the difference? Well, Craig Levein has this week taken United to the League Cup final. They're a replay away from the Scottish Cup quarter-finals, and they're currently third in the SPL. Hibs don't have that sort of momentum at the moment, and Mixu Paatelainen, in only his 4th match in charge, has to halt an alarming slide. They started the league season with a 9-game unbeaten run, but since winning at Ibrox 4 months ago, Hibs have won only once. In the studio with me at Tannadice, they used to be half the Ipswich back four. Now they're hoping to lead Scotland to the next World Cup finals. George Burley and Terry Butcher of Scotland. How was your first international get-together, George?
Yeah, it was great. It was nice to meet some players I hadn't met before.
Craig, I guess you'll have a very buoyant squad after the victory against Aberdeen on Tuesday night.
Yeah, we're in good spirits, as you'd probably imagine. We have to guard today about thinking that anything we've done on Tuesday will have an effect on the match today. I think we have to start again and apply ourselves in the same manner.
It looks like you may have a few walking wounded from Tuesday night's game because you've made 3 changes for today.
Yeah, well, I had in my mind that after Tuesday both Calvinas and de Vries would miss out today. The reason being neither of them have trained, both of them have only trained 1 week in the last 10. And I know Mark de Vries very well, and Christian, obviously one of our more senior players as well. And I was dreading them starting today and getting some sort of injury, which is highly likely, considering they haven't trained. So those 2 miss out, and David Robertson misses out, unfortunately for him. But I just feel we're changing things a little bit today and do something a little bit different.
Having seen Rob Jones is missing for Hibs, any regrets that de Vries isn't playing from the start with his height difference?
No, I mean, as I said to you, whether Rob Jones was playing or not playing, he was going to sit on the bench today. There's every chance you'll see him at some point, but what I don't want to do is be in a position where Mark de Vries is out for 6 or 8 weeks with some sort of muscle strain. So, and I know him, and I know that if he doesn't train and play every week, then he's susceptible to injury. So, being careful with him. If we need him today, then they'll play him at some point, but I don't think he'll play more than half an hour at the most.
From your programme notes, it appears that you've been after Jim O'Brien for a while now. What can he bring to your team?
Well, Barry's away now. We don't have what I would consider natural width on the right-hand side. And Jim is somebody I really like. I think he's a young player who is full of energy and enthusiasm, and that really ties in with the rest of our players as well. They all have loads of energy. And he's got great delivery. So I'm hoping that we can get him on the ball today and get Craig Conway on the ball today and let them go and take on the fullbacks.
Best of luck today, Craig.
Thank you.
Barry Robson rightly earned him top billing at Dundee United this season before his £1 million move to Celtic. But the contribution of Noel Hunt shouldn't be underestimated. 14 goals so far, and he's looking forward to a cup final.
In train for the first time today, the boys are buzzing. it's been great. After the game, coming back in the bus, the boys really enjoyed it, so we're all delighted.
How much is the success of the club 20 years ago a millstone round your neck for this present squad?
Yeah, it's massive. You see pictures on the walls, European Cup nights, crazy things like that. For a club, that hasn't got the biggest stadium in the world, but it's massive. And for us, we need to start raising the bar. I think we've done it this season with the gaffer and stuff. He's brought in players and he's brought a bit more to the dressing room, and we have raised the bar a wee bit.
Are the players aware that since the SPL was created 10 years ago, this club has only had one top 6 finish?
We were talking about that the other day, and it's a shame, for a big club and what they've done in the past. And it's been 10 years, and you look at the tables and you see they're always 8th, 9th, 7th. It's hard to see, but this year things are going well for us, and hopefully we can give back the fans, but a little something for the last 10 years.
Did the manager set targets for players individually and of course for the group as a whole?
He said to me at the start of the season that for me, you need to be a 1 and 2 striker, to have a good rate, and to be recognised. And he came in and he said, a cup final would do nicely, and he did say these things, and he said a top 6 finish, and he came in with the belief, and he gave us the belief, he came in and said that we are good enough to do it, and if we keep on working hard and working our socks off and doing the things that we're asked of, it shouldn't be a problem, and it's got us here today, so, there's a lot to thank for that.
And would you have a fair shout of getting on the penalties now that Barry Robson's gone?
I don't think his feet had touched the ground outside when I called him, and the boys are laughing. He had come in on the morning of the transfer window and he hadn't got changed, and I popped it down and I goes, if he goes, I'm on pens, and everyone was laughing. Or he's not gone yet. I goes, I don't care, I'm on pens, so, and free kicks if I get them, so it was a bit of banter, but yeah, I've called him, so I'm delighted.
Hibs this weekend, the last 3 meetings between you and them have ended in a draw, so I guess we can expect another tight game this weekend.
Yeah, I think we were a bit hard done by down there the last time we went 2-0 up. I think we let us slip a wee bit, and we were missing a few bodies that day as well. And the first game was a 0-0, so they have been good games, and they are tight. But we need to be confident. We're at home, and we need to try and get 3 points.
His brother Stephen Hunt is doing great things at Reading this season, but Noel making a name for himself as well. 14 goals in 28 appearances this season, and even my dodgy arithmetic Terry tells me that's 1 every 2 games. Not bad.
No, very good for you. Absolutely spot on.
Not bad for him either.
Not bad for him either. The thing about Noel is he's very quick and very sharp. He's like a wasp on your shoulder. You just can't get rid of him. And if a cross does come in the box, he's got a terrific spring for it. He's not a big fella, but he's got a terrific spring, and he heads it. He's probably headed a few goals this season that he had no right to get to, but he's got a good celebration as well. And it's one of the ones where when he does score a goal, you don't want to get too close because you'll get kicked in the head with his back flips and somersaults and everything else like that.
And he offers something different from Mark de Vries, who might appear from the bench later on in the game.
Yeah, Mark de Vries was a player who was at Leicester with Craig, big strong lad. I think Craig said he didn't want to risk him. He hasn't done much training, but I'm sure you'll see him at some point in the game, and he can be a right handful because if they're putting balls in the box, he'll get in the end of it. Long balls, he'll hold it up for other players around him. So I'm sure you'll see him before the end of the match.
Yeah, and he does remember well scoring 4 goals against Hibs in an Edinburgh derby a few years back. And Dundee United certainly have physical presence in central defence in the form of Lee Wilkie, capped 11 times for Scotland. He's had horrendous injury problems, but he's one, George, I would imagine you'll be keeping an eye on for a possible recall if he can continue his current vein of form.
Definitely. Dundee United have been in great form this season. He's played his part. He's a central defender. That's an area where we're looking at. We've got some good players that may be coming to the twilight of their career. So Lee will be one I'll certainly be looking very closely at.
Like him, Terry?
Yeah, I like him a lot, and he's got a lot of character as well to come back from the injuries that he's sustained. And a lot of people thought he'd be written off. His career was over, but he's proved that He's very strong mentally as well as physically, and he's worked very hard to get back in. He's a threat at set pieces. He's a big lad. Not the quickest in terms of looking at someone that's rapid, but he reads it very well. He's had to read it very well for a big man, but he's brave and fearless, and he loves Dundee United, and he's certainly playing that way as well.
Ian Murray made his Hibs.
Men in action today. Dundee United make 3 changes from the cup tie with Aberdeen. Christian Calvinus and Mark de Vries are short of match fitness, so drop to the bench, while David Robertson misses out. In come Sean Dillon, Danny Granger and Jim O'Brien, who makes his debut after joining on loan from Celtic. Lee Wilkie plays on despite a hamstring worry, and Willow Flood has recovered from a swollen ankle. Darren Dodds faces his former club.
Yeah, Dundee United continue with a 4-3-3, and it's that usual combination of backbone through Dodds, Wilkie, Gomez and Hunt, coupled with creativity in the likes of O'Brien, Conway, Flood and Kerr, that have helped provide that 3rd place in the SPL. The midfield 3 in particular will have to be at the top of their game. Look for Gomez picking up Dean Shields' runs from deep, and of course Moraes and Rankin won't exactly be stationary, so it's just as well United can counter that with their own mobility in the central area.
Hibs make 3 changes from the cup tie against Rangers. Skipper Rob Jones has a thigh injury, Brian Kerr a knee problem, and Merouani Zamama drops to the bench. In come Guillaume Bouzaran, Felipe Moraes and Colin Nish, who makes his debut after joining from Kilmarnock. There's an SPL debut for 18-year-old Paul Hanyon. The versatile Ian Murray switches to centre-half in Jones' absence, and Chris Hogg takes the captain's armband.
Yeah, well, Hibs will set up in a 4-1-3-2. In defence, Hogg and Murray, I think, will have been relieved that Mark de Vries' name is only listed as a sub. They're not the most physical defenders, so Noel Hunt should suit them a little bit better. It's a diamond-shaped midfield unit with Buzlan at the base of it and Shields given licence at the top. And I'm always interested to see how new striking partnerships fare. Mixu Patalainen will be hoping Nish and Fletcher gel quickly.
Everybody, good luck.
Chris Hogg leading out Hibs today in the absence of the injured Rob Jones. Lee Wilkie at the front of the queue for Dundee United. The SPL weekend starts here with an intriguing tussle at Tannadice. Dundee United a team in form, Hibs a team out of form, but they do have a very decent recent record against their opponents today. Dundee United have only beaten Hibs once in 6 years. Born in Edinburgh, he's a Hibs fan. Colin Nish debuts for his dream team. He's already scored a winner against Dundee United this season for Kilmarnock. Craig Levein has finally got his man. Twice before he's tried to take Jim O'Brien on loan from Celtic. 3rd time lucky. It's O'Brien's debut for Dundee United. Policeman Eddie Smith is the man in charge. He's refereed Hibs 3 times before. They've won each game, and Stephen Fletcher has scored in all 3, so maybe that's an omen. Mixu Patalainen is back where it all began. Dundee United were the first British club he played for. Back in 1987, he spent 4.5 years at Tannadice. Fond memories of what he calls a special place. Well, when Hibs won at Ibrox in early October, they went top of the SPL, but embarrassingly, they've only managed 1 win since in the league, and that was against the bottom club, Retna. They did hold Rangers to a draw in the Scottish Cup last weekend, but they always seem to raise their game against the Old Firm. It's everyone else they seem to have a problem with. Moraes, the flag stays down, and Nish now for Dean Shields, and surely Hibs have got to find a way to goal. Then again, maybe not. They took the long way round, and it wouldn't settle for Fletcher, and now Dundee United are ready to launch an assault of their own. And Hibs are a little stretched. It's Hunt, and Gomez has got himself into the box, along with Flood, and Jim O'Brien, fiercely struck. Good save from Makalambe, penalty though, as Flood is pushed. Penalty.
You can see here Buzlan going in. Initially it did look a little soft. I would just think he clips Flood's ankle at that point there.
Well, the penalty taker, Barry Robson, has left, so it's Noel Hunt who takes over the duties, and it's just about squeezed past Makalambe. Now at the other end, that could be another penalty. Goal kick as the verdict on the advice of his assistants, but Zaluska certainly lunged in here on Shields. Noel Hunt doing defensive duty as well, but it's fallen kindly now for Dean Shields. And he's got himself all tangled up, and another opportunity goes begging for Hibs.
He's definitely on line, and he just tries to overcomplicate. There's a little step over his left foot.
Shields for Moraes. Granger makes the challenge, but Moraes still got it in there. And, oh, it's gone in! Rankin with the strike that bamboozled Zaluska.
Oh, it's just the start that Hibs needed. A fairly decent ball in the front post area. It's not cleared well enough, but Rankin, we know he has good technique. That's something not shown by Zaluska in goals.
Willow Flood. Conway's cross. De Vries coming in, and Hunt unable to turn it in. Nearly, but not quite.
It's a very good ball in the back stick, and you do fancy De Vries to get there. Conway whips it in, and Noel Hunt, he knows it's coming back across, he just can't get around it enough.
Shields for Nish. Fletcher wants it in the middle. Nish has found him. Fletcher! So unlucky. What a terrific try from Stephen Fletcher.
He comes so close. The ability, it's frightening. Absolutely no chance to the goalkeeper.
Craig Conway has sent over some enticing corners today. Darren Dodds met that, and De Vries's header turned over by the Belgian giant Makalambe. Luzalan up towards Fletcher. He's left himself with a fair bit to do. Shadowed by Dillon. Got away from him though. Shields. It's Rankin, and Colin Nish very nearly turned it in. And Zaluska proved to be a barrier then. Zimama. Here's Fletcher in a similar position. Can he score this time? He can't. And nor can Dean Shields. And that is a massive miss in stoppage time.
Every time we play Hibs, it seems to be a great game. I don't know if it's certainly the way they play. You know, they take a chance and they leave as many men up the field as possible, and that encourages you to do the same thing. So it went hammer and tongs from the first whistle, and if I wasn't so nervous, it would have been enjoyable.
Draws are not good to us. You know, we want to win matches. That's what I said to the boys in the dressing room. That great effort, plenty of chances in the end, but not good enough because we only drew the game. We want to come to places like Tannadice and get 3 points and go home happy. But there's a little bit to go before we can do that.
We have confidence that even against Celtic and Rangers, we feel that we can beat anybody in this league, and I don't see why we won't finish third. And at the end of the day, if we're playing well, we'll match anybody in this league.
Obviously, just delighted to get the first goal. And that's the monkey off my back, so to speak, quite early doors. So delighted with the goal, but overall disappointed in the result. I mean, you've got to come to places like this and get 3 points, and we just need to kick-start again on Tuesday night and hopefully get a victory against Gretna.
Block at this point, and it was a late touch from Colin Nish, and that made it difficult.
Yeah, it was such an exciting finish, and there could have been about 4 goals in the last 3 or 4 minutes. It was amazing. It was end to end, as Terry said. It was really shooty in. But you know, give him credit. He stood up like all good goalkeepers do. You know, if you stand up and make yourself big, sometimes it just hits you. And I think it just hit him quickly there, and unfortunately it broke to one of his defenders, and they managed to clear it.
Hibs might have been up on a theft charge had they taken all 3 points here today, but they certainly had the chance right at the death to do it 91 minutes. And, well, it's a sitter for Dean Shields, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, he hits it. Well, he doesn't really hit it at all. I mean, Fletcher's had an opportunity just before this, which was, if he had a shot and was blocked, he's thinking about a shot, he cuts it back, and there we are, just go and finish it off. And he just opens up his body too much, and the chance, and the ball just slides off his foot and goes wide. That was it. That would have been Dick Turpin masks on for Hibs, and as far as they were concerned, it would have been daylight robbery.
Here's the SPL table then. After the first game of the Collective Bank Premier League weekend, Dundee United move on to 39, 4 ahead of Motherwell. Motherwell have 4 games in hand. Hibs 1 better off, but still 2 adrift of Inverness. And it was a share of the points. Bye for now.